Hey y'all, Pastor Marshall here. You know what I'm bad at? It's galvanizing and being a cheerleader for people to sign up for events and things like the Light the Nations next Saturday. And so I'm not going to do that in this video. There are tons of really great people at our church who are really good at getting people excited to volunteer. But what I'm going to do is answer a question that I usually get this time of year around Light the Nations. And it goes a little something like this. It's why are we not inviting people to church? Why is that not the point? Why are we not handing out water bottles? And why are we not giving out koozies or coffee mugs and inviting people to church? It seems like we're missing a great opportunity. We should get their email addresses or make them sign up for something or have an iPad that collects information. And basically, I want to give you 3 reasons why we are not doing that. And the first one is because it's ineffective. I have been a part of a lot of churches that have done a lot of really amazing things trying to get people just merely to invite them to church and get them show up one day at church, and it is ineffective. It rarely works. Very few people, I would say 99% of people who tell you they will be there on Sunday because of a kind of quick marketing tactic. They either do not show up or they show up for a very, very short period of time. And there's this little adage that is thrown around, and it's what you win people with, you will win people to. And so you are winning them to be attracted to something. And as long as they are getting something out of it, they will gladly come. But once they don't, their attendance will wane. And so 1, it's ineffective. 2, it's because we are here to serve the neighborhood, not necessarily to collect email addresses or just get numbers coming to our church. And so we're here to connect with the neighborhood, serve the neighborhood, give to them like we have been given to, and to be a part of the neighbors and the neighborhood that we find ourselves in. And so that's a huge reason. The third reason, which I think is the biggest one, and that's why I saved it for last, is that I don't think Jesus would merely try to invite people to church. Now, of course, there's nothing wrong with inviting people to church, and many people are at church because they are close friends of yours, and maybe you're at the church because a friend of yours invited you, and that's wonderful. But I don't think that Jesus would attend or show up and get a booth at Light the Nations and sit there just trying to invite people to church. And here's why. A lot of times I think we talk about this idea of incarnational ministry, and it's sort of that we are going to operate as a church of what we do the way that Jesus did things. That is, being the first to initiate, being the one to go in and become and be like before doing anything else. And if our approach or our strategy to get people to come to church looks like State Farm, sorry to burn State Farm, but if it looks just like State Farm, I think there's something that should catch our eye about that. And so if you look at the heart of it, what those companies do, which is not bad, they're a business, they should be trying to get information and even invite people into a wonderful service for their life and things like that. There's nothing bad about that, but it's a transaction. You're saying you give me the chance to sell you, or you give me your email. You give me some part of you or some piece of information, and then I will invite you into this, or I will then give you something. I'll give you a Frisbee if you would just give us your email address, and we're Christians and we love you, but here's a Frisbee or a pencil, and spin the wheel and see what prize you get. Just, you have to give us something first, an email address, something, some way to contact you, because we're not going to give it away for free. And I don't think that's the way that Jesus would have done it. I think that when we begin our relationship with people in a transaction, we look like everyone else. And we're not supposed to look like everyone else. We're supposed to be different. And so I want us to think about this as an opportunity to change the story, to adjust the narrative of all those booths out there where people are, I think, probably tired of just being in a transactional relationship. And how wonderful would it be that we're not just inviting them to a service, but we're inviting them into a way of life and into relationships that do not start first with something that you must give up, but it starts first with something that's been given to you. And so that is the emphasis behind why we do not make it just invite people to church. Now look, if you connect with a person and they ask you what time church service starts, tell them and invite them over to your house, invite them for coffee, invite them to your discipleship group. But we are not merely just trying to get a bunch of people invited to church. So click the link in the email. Maybe it'll be fancy and be in this video, but sign up, fill in those last spots, or just come out and hang out and have fun and enjoy the time with our neighbors so that we can embody who Jesus is to people.